Explaining consciousness. Unconscious and conscious are states exclusively related to your physical body. Consciousness itself is always conscious. We are multidimensional, conscious on multiple levels of being at once, physicality included. Just because you are physically unconscious at times within certain states of being, or physically unconscious of certain states of your being, doesn't mean that consciousness ever becomes unconscious itself. It just means that you are unaware of certain states of your being whilst being consciously aware in certain other states of being. Being aware and unaware are states we subject our personal physical connection to consciousness to. Take sleep, for example. Just because your body is unconscious doesn't mean that on another level of your being, linearly speaking, you are also unconscious. You do not just lay inside of your body while your body sleeps. You are not your body, but your body is an extension of self, and when you come back into alignment with your physical self, your physical state may make it hard for you to remember what your physical self was unconscious for, even though you were conscious outside of that physical state of being, such as with dreams. Conscious awareness is being aware within the state of consciousness that you are in. It is also a point of focus that can direct and be directed. Everything is of consciousness. I'm not saying everything is consciously aware, I'm just saying everything is of consciousness. Nothing exists outside of it. All of this is just my personal experience and understanding of consciousness, of course. We are multidimensional, made up of multiple states of consciousness in every given moment that is now. We all have levels, if you will, of being as a noun and as a verb, that are conscious outside of our physical state. So even when we are not conscious and aware of being within and of those other states of being that transcend our physical state simultaneously whilst we are aligned with our physical being, we are actively conscious within them all. It is our awareness that directs where we are within ourself, within our being, and the act of being. We are multidimensionally conscious at all times despite our awareness of it, or lack thereof. Some esoteric systems suggest that aspects of consciousness can fragment or become asleep within certain dimensions, requiring awakening or reintegration. Consciousness does not become unconscious. In our physical form, we become or just are unconscious of those aspects of ourself, i.e. the shadow self. Psychologically, and maybe even on some level spiritually, parts of our psyche or soul can fragment, but consciousness just is. There is no separation of consciousness, only in our relationship with and experience of it. Of us, as we are pure consciousness experiencing ourselves. This doodle is a little sloppy and I went a little extra with it. The big white arrow up and down to the right is symbolic of a linear, two-dimensional understanding of the frequencies, high and low, that are consciousness. That consciousness disperses when it reaches lower densities of reality, and how they keep going on, both higher and higher and lower simultaneously and infinitely. These higher and lower frequencies outside of a linear concept exist all in one place and in one time, right here and right now. There are only levels mentioned here to assist in our linear manner of thinking and understanding. I scribbled the basic rainbow to the left of that, going up and down to depict these frequencies in a manner we understand them, visually. Then I decided to be extra and draw the human body over this. There is a reason the colors don't line up towards the legs and feet with a 2D drawing of the basic standard chakra system here. I pulled the chakras out of the 2D depiction we always see them in and placed them over a torus to the left to explain this, and correlated that with the gray arrows you see around the body. This is not how or why, meaning from the toroidal energy flow, auras move about your energy field, or how colors are concentrated within your auric field. It's just not the same thing. Energy, but not the auric field, moves about and within the body in a toroidal manner. Chakra energy does not occur in 2D as you see it in a picture, meaning top to bottom and motionless, or strictly up and down, nor does it simply flow in a manner that only aligns with our 3D understanding of energy flow, that here and there or linear flow type shit, though the placement of these spheres of consciousness in the body on chakra charts are accurate. Chakra energy is multidimensional, and it functions and flows as such. The torus shows how energy moves, and why I have purple and blue down by the feet too, but again, this is different from energy that is concentrated in one's auric field. Your aura is not all clean and ordered like a perfect toroidal rainbow. In the image, a white beam of light is drawn coming out of the head because a white beam of light literally comes out of people's heads. I first saw these white beams when I taught myself to see auras and energy in high school, and you can see them depicted in certain religious artworks. It's a literal white beam of light that goes up and up and up until I can't see it anymore. The white and electric blue strands of light, I see those come out of fingertips and feet, so I drew those in as well. The red dot connecting to the blue arrow attached to the large white arrow, which is a depiction of frequencies infinitely flowing high and low, this blue arrow and red dot symbolize a simple linear depiction of conscious awareness. The red dot is dense, a solid focus and awareness. The blue arrow is consciousness being channeled through that focus and awareness. It shows how conscious awareness can slide up and down the frequencies, and it directs your awareness towards whatever frequency of consciousness you focus on, making you aware in that state, despite being conscious on all levels of being, as a verb and a noun, all at once. Those frequencies are dispersed within and emitted from your three-dimensional body, like a prism through chakras, as I spoke of above, which are literal spheres of consciousness emitting their own concentrated frequencies within your being. Pure consciousness, as it is concentrated closer to our more dense three-dimensional reality, giving it form, appears as a beam of white light that enters through the top of the head, giving conscious energy and life to our physical bodies, as I drew in the image. And this beam of consciousness, the white light, flows straight into the pineal gland and enters the nervous system, which has a dynamic relationship with human fascia. Before I get into human fascia, I colored a gold spot in the very center of the human head that signifies where I personally speculate consciousness enters the body. This spot in the center of the skull may very well be the pineal gland. I don't know. If you were to push a pin through the center of your forehead till the tip reached halfway through your head, it feels about an inch or so or lower than that, smack dab in the center of the skull. This spot is different from the location inside of the forehead that sometimes I see things from. Each location I see from in my head, I can feel physically and energetically when I'm seeing from it. Yes, the beam of consciousness streams in from the top of the head, but it travels through this point in the center of the skull before it enters the pineal gland, if it is not actually the pineal gland itself. I really don't know. All I know is I can feel and see from and travel through it. This point, I have personally found, is a literal doorway that we can travel within and outside of ourselves, both embodied energetically or not. There are 3 places I have found to see from within you. With the physical eyes closed but behind the darkness of the eyelids, or while open, we can see from within the area inside of the forehead, and also this area in the center of the skull. I don't know what exactly it is about this spot in the head, but through this center point, I have been able to see and travel both in and outside of myself, like when I'm literally displaced, such as blipping into other locations or densities of reality embodied in an energy body, or when I find myself seeing into other locations. This is a space through which I travel from, and I can physically feel it when it is occurring. I don't know why, all I know is that location is important for travel, internally and externally, which are essentially the same thing and lead to the same place. As within, so without is quite literally embodied here in terms of interdimensional travel, in my opinion. I colored it gold. I don't know why, that's just the color I felt like coloring it. I don't know what color the energy is there, gold or white maybe? Another third eye chakra is in the center of the forehead, that's why I drew that chakra on the body too. Maybe the energy center and the physical mechanism are not quite in the same exact location, much like other organs are not placed exactly inside of their corresponding chakras. Back to the human fascia. Fascia is a complex 3-dimensional matrix that surrounds and integrates with muscles, bones, nerves, and organs. Like the prism, it refracts light into various colors. Fascia interacts with and influences various systems of the body. This is where you get organ and body part associations with certain chakras, or spheres of consciousness. Same thing. Back to that torus, if I were to take you a step closer to 3D from the torus, you would get what is called a Merkaba, or a vehicle of light, of consciousness, where energy is organized into perfect geometry. The Merkaba is closer to 3D reality than the torus. The Merkaba corresponds directly with geometric energy grids that make up our 3-dimensional reality. If you ever see one depicted in an image, it is in the shape of a star tetrahedron, which is placed in the upper left-hand corner. Also, the white light that flows through the arms and the legs, light does generally flow through the limbs in this way, but it's a vague depiction. The human body has a complex energy system full of channels of energy known as meridians. I clearly didn't doodle that on here. Branching back into auras briefly, your chakras, or spheres of consciousness, are the source of the energy that makes up auras. Auras do not flow in a toroidal manner, even though that is how energy flows within and about your physical body. You hold certain frequencies of energy in your auric field as you concentrate them within your being, with your conscious awareness through what is going on inside of you, meaning what you focus on amplifies and you hold that energy within and about you in that given moment, for however long you hold it in within you. Each frequency can manifest in all manners: mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, whatever, and we are constantly shifting and changing in every moment. One minute you're focused on what you're doing, the next you may be focused on a memory from the past, or the thought of what you're going to eat for dinner, or how someone made you feel. Then maybe you smash a finger, and so on. You operate on all frequencies at one time, regardless that your conscious awareness does not focus on all of this at once. The conscious mind is known to only be able to focus on 7 things at once, plus or minus 2. This is why you glow multiple colors in any given moment, and that constant change as you go about your day causes auras to constantly change. Auras move like lava. It literally looks like glowing lava, but with a consistency that is like a glowing haze, almost like water vapor. It scatters rainbow colors, but without the vapor. The colors flow about together. You don't necessarily have all colors vibrating within your aura all at the same times either, but the colors that are there can change. They can fade and another appears in its place. They can shift from one color to another or meld and mix together. Other things can take place in the auric field, such as energy concentrating to form things such as psychic archetypes and other symbolism, but I'd be getting too off track here going into it.